Let the amen sound from his people again. Gladly for aye we adore him.
Hi everyone, welcome to the fifth and final installment of How Christ is Present in the Mass. And as a quick review, he's present, first of all, when we gather and when we listen through the proclamation of the readings, the gospel, and we witness Christ through the Eucharistic prayer, and we receive Christ through the Eucharist, through communion. The fifth way we witness Christ is that Christ is already present within us. And that is an amazing fact, that Christ is in us. And how does that originate? At baptism, at our birth? When did that happen?
Well, it originates in the sense we're talking about at our baptism. You know, by our baptism comes the divine indwelling. We believe that God is everywhere, of course, but uniquely, like Jesus is uniquely present in the Eucharist. He uniquely dwells inside of all of us, of the baptized. Now, in many of the baptized, it seems to me that it's kind of lying dormant there, you know, and God's there, lying very dormant. And what we got to do is stir that up. We have to awaken that, so then we can be able to and be in communion with the divine indwelling in our lives. And the Eucharist is meant to is to constantly be awakening that reality inside of us, so that we recognize the divine indwelling and we begin to act out of that. The fruits and the gifts of the Spirit, we begin to act out of that.
To be clear, Christ is not dormant. He is always active and present. We are distracted.
Well, that's absolutely true. That's absolutely correct. Christ is never dormant. You're right about. I think, if I can put it this way, and maybe your point is better taken than mine. It seems like the grace of baptism is not being activated by us.
Right.
You know, it just lies there. You know, it's kind of dormant. But of course, Christ himself is never dormant. You're right. But we're the ones who are not in touch with what's going on. Yes, we need to come to life again through grace.
Exactly.
And
the parts of the Mass, like you said, they ascend.
Mm-hmm.
They are meant to stir, just like you said, stir up our awareness of Christ in us.
Great. Yeah.
And you use the analogy of chocolate milk.
Yes.
You know.
I've done it before, like we stir it up, whenever you pour chocolate in milk, and it's absolutely true, I've done it a couple times, it just goes right to the bottom. So here's the Spirit, here's the grace of baptism, here's God's presence, to put it that way, sort of lying dormant in the bottom of our soul. And until we, through God's grace, begin to stir that up, it just lies there. When we stir it up, we actually begin to come to life ourselves.
So that's why going to Mass is a particularly intentional act. All this is going on, and some of us, including me at times, you can be completely distracted and miss the opportunities right in front of us.
And I think the church, again, made it a obligation for every good reason. But what always seems to happen is we dumb things down to their common denominator in the simplest form. Oh, it's an obligation, I'm supposed to go to church. Well, why? I don't know. I just go.
Yeah.
You know, so we want to know why. And this is the why part of all that.
Right. So after the pinnacle of at Mass, we receive Christ.
Yes.
We receive those blessings, those graces to go out. I mean, once Christ is awakened in us, what's our responsibility?
Yeah, that's the fifth presence.
Right,
We're talking about the fifth presence, which is God's presence in all of us. So at the end of Mass, and I want to reference Dan's new song, Ita Missa Est, the Mass is ended, go. Which doesn't mean, oh, get out of here, we're sick of seeing you, you know, it's time for you to leave. Or let's go early because we can beat the crowd, or I could get my car in the parking lot faster, or something like that. Then we kind of miss the whole point of all that. Go is being sent, and that's the message of the song. You and I are supposed to be now enlivened by Christ. You know, we have just received Jesus Christ. who lives in us all the time, not just as long as it lives in our digestive system.
Yeah.
It lives in us all the time. We're supposed to go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Now, I'm not saying you have to go and baptize anybody. I'm just simply saying go and live your life as a follower, and that's what he wants us to. And he'll give us opportunities, to talk, to witness, to do everything we're supposed to be doing.
Right, if we're alert.
If we're alert.
Right. So, in a sense, we're commissioned as the apostles were commissioned. We're not just, time
Correct.
is up, church is over, I'm going home.
Right.
I mean, it's
Enough of that. And I leave the church completely unaffected by everything that just happened. You're supposed to be changed little by little, And one person asked the question, if we go to Mass every single Sunday, and almost every single day, why aren't we better? Maybe we're not grabbing a hold of these 4 other presences first, and then we are supposed to go out and make a difference. Go make a difference, I guess. That's actually a song.
That's right. Well, we'll sing that soon too.
Maybe we'll sing that song
Yeah.
like that, yeah.
Well, I have a better understanding of the fifth presence, and hopefully you all do too. And thank you for joining us for the previous 4 as well. Thanks, Father.
You're welcome.